The exercise files for today's course are located in the video description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Welcome to OneNote Introduction. You're learning with Mo Jones, IT professional and educator. In this introductory course for OneNote, we'll explore a few modules. In the first module, we'll get started. We'll take a look at OneNote. What can we do with OneNote? Why would we want to use it? In Module 2, we'll create a OneNote notebook and see how we can borrow some of the features from the other Microsoft application so that we can be productive. In Module 3, we'll take a look at how OneNote integrates with other Office applications such as Microsoft Outlook and Microsoft Teams. Then we'll take a look at some of the newer features that are available that will help us to be productive. Go ahead and open up your version of OneNote, and we'll go ahead and dig right in.
Looking to support our channel and get a great deal? Become a member today to unlock ad-free videos. That's right, your favorite courses without a single ad. Interested in a specific video? Purchase one of our ad-free courses individually. Looking for even more? Gain access to exams, certificates, and exclusive content at LearnitAnytime.com. More information can be found in the video description below.
Welcome to Module 1, Getting Started. Let's take a look at a OneNote notebook. Let's see what we can do. We'll also take a look at the different layouts that are available. And we'll also familiarize ourselves with the environment. So I'll go ahead and open up my OneNote notebook. Here's my OneNote notebook. Now, the thing to know here is that I have my notebook. I have two sections. Here's a section for development. And then over here to the right, these are the pages that are a part of this particular section. We'll just take a look at these different pages and see what we can do in OneNote. Here's the landing page. And as you can see, you can add content anywhere. We can also move chunk of text around. We get the familiar headings that we see in Microsoft Word. We get the same font command group with our font commands. And we have styles in here as well. We can insert things like pictures, tables, even PDF printouts of a particular document. I can insert a table. So here's my table here that I've inserted. Here's my contextual tab for that particular table. Let's head on over to the next page, adding content. Now this is a screen clipping. I was able to take a screen clip from the web. So if you click on the Insert tab, you'll notice we have the screen clipping here. So that's pretty cool. Another really nice feature is when you insert a picture into OneNote, you have the capability to extract the text from that picture, which is pretty cool. So here's the text that appears here at the top. So that's pretty nice. What else can we do? Well, we can get PDF printouts. Here is a PowerPoint presentation and just a template. And what I did, I just was able to print this out into OneNote as a PDF. So we can see the slides are kind of, here we go. I'll scroll back up. Took a little while to load there, but here we go. Here are all those different slides from that presentation. So whether it's an Excel file, a Word file, a PowerPoint file, we can print out the content of that page here and view it in OneNote. We have templates. So here's a project template. So if you want to manage a project, we have all the details that we need in here. The name of the project, description, goals, and we can even apply little tags here. Like if this is a critical item, this is a task, this is important. So a lot of opportunities for us to be productive here. Here is a to-do list. What's a project without a to-do list or a list of tasks? Here I have some high priority, medium priority, and low priority tasks. And I can go ahead and mark them as complete. Notice how my to-do list page is a subpage of my project template. What about meetings? If I click on the meeting here, we also have a template page for meetings. Date and time, location, attendees, status of old action items. And look what we can do. We can actually pull in the contents of a meeting from Outlook. We can see the invitation message. We can view the participants. And if there are any notes, we'll see the notes in here as well. So pretty cool. What else can we do? We have voice commands. So with voice commands, I can either dictate or I can transcribe text right here. Here's this little transcript that I used here. So it actually created the transcript for me in the form of text. Up here on the top, I was able to dictate, and it basically converted my speech into text. So pretty nice. One more page, Office integrations. So we can see that in Outlook, we'll have several opportunities to send an email to OneNote. And in Microsoft Teams, we'll have the capability to either add an existing notebook to a team channel, or we can use the existing notebook for each team channel as well. So those are some of the things that we can do with Microsoft OneNote. Now that we've seen a little bit of what OneNote can do, we need to go ahead and open up OneNote. Now, OneNote can either be found on your taskbar or an icon on your desktop, or you can just navigate to your applications folder and open up the actual application. If you're logging into OneNote for the first time, or if you're launching it for the first time, you may need to go ahead and sign in. Or if you're already signed in to your Microsoft account on your computer, it may just launch for you. I'm going to go ahead and open up my OneNote here. Now, this is the backstage view. So here's the actual interface. We'll talk about this in just a little bit, but we pretty much get started from the File tab. So I'll go ahead and click on the File tab here. And here is where we can go ahead and create a new notebook. Once we have existing notebooks, we can go ahead and open them as well. We can also share a notebook here. We also have different export options that we can use. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and click on the New tab here and create a new notebook. So I'll click on New. Now, once you click on New, it basically asks you where you want to save the notebook. You can save it to your PC if you want to. I prefer to save it to the cloud. This way it syncs automatically. I don't have to worry about saving it. And if I want to go ahead and share the notebook, it's either shared from my OneDrive or my SharePoint space. I'll go ahead and choose OneDrive, and I'll click here. And now I can just simply go ahead and give it a name. So I am going to call this OneNote Introduction. So I'll go ahead and press Create. So it's uploading it or creating it in the OneDrive space. And right away, it gives me the option if I want to share this file now with another colleague, so I can invite others to collaborate at this point. I can do this later, so I'll just choose Not Now. And it opens up to my new notebook. So when you create a new notebook, you pretty much get two things. You get a default untitled section, and you also get an untitled page. So these are the two things that we get when you create a new notebook. So at this point, we just need to go ahead and add some content. But we're here to look around. We won't be creating anything yet. Let's go ahead and take a quick look around. Now on the far left, you will see that I have some of my existing notebooks. Here's a little pin icon. So we can either pin or collapse our list of notebooks here, right? So I can go ahead and click on the pin, and that pretty much hides it for me. Gives me a little more space to work with. Now, if I want to access them, I can just click on the drop down here, and I can take a look at my recent notebooks. I can also add a notebook from here if I want to as well. I'm going to go ahead and pin this back here. And a really nice option with pinning is that we get a tree view. So if I wanted to click on the drop down here, I can see the two sections for this particular notebook. All right. And so this allows me to just kind of see the structure of that particular notebook as well. So it's up to you. You can either go ahead and pin it, or you can just leave it kind of on demand so that you can access it just by clicking on the drop down here. The other thing to note is that we have a ribbon. So just like with the other Microsoft Office applications, we've got File, Home, Insert, Draw, History, Review, View, and Help. So each ribbon tab comes with its own command group. So here's some basic command groups here on the Home tab. Here's the clipboard command group, all of our clipboard commands. Fonts, here's some of the styles that we also see in Word and PowerPoint. And here are the tags that help us to be productive. We have some Outlook integrations over here that we can use. And here are some of the newer features in the voice command group, such as Dicate and Transcribe. So these are the different areas. Now, so that's the ribbon. And then here is our notebook. Here is our section. And here is the first page of that particular section. If I want to add pages, I'll go ahead and click on here. Well, what else can I do from here? I do have the search box here. So the search box, it allows us to get a quick how-to on how to perform a particular task or use a particular command, or we can search our document for a keyword as well. So it serves different purposes here. If I click on the View tab, we have a couple of views. So we have normal view, we have the full page view. You can also press F11 to go into full screen view there. And I'll go ahead and go back to normal view just by clicking on the diagonal two-way arrow here to go back. And just some other things that we can do in here as well. We can also zoom in and out of our document. Also, if you hold down the Control key and scroll up and down on your mouse, you can also zoom. So we can see the zoom level is indicated right in here. I'll go back to 100%. And I'm good to go. As far as the layout, that's pretty much it, right? So pretty efficient, not a lot happening here. If I go back to the Home tab, I do have the capability to pin commands to my quick access toolbar. For example, I'll go ahead and pin the font color group here. So if you just right click on a command, I can add it to the quick access toolbar. I'll go ahead and add my highlighter. I'll go ahead and add the bold command here as well. And we can see that they are indeed showing up on my quick access toolbar. Right. If you want to, you can click on the drop down here for the quick access toolbar. And if you want to, you can show it below the ribbon. So I'll go ahead and show it below the ribbon. It's kind of getting lost in that purple header there. I'll go ahead and show this below the ribbon. And there we go. So just like with the other Microsoft Office applications, we can add commands to the quick access toolbar, and we can change the position of the quick access toolbar as well. Now, as far as the ribbon display, when you launched OneNote, you may have a different display than I have. You can press Control F1 to kind of toggle the different display options. Right now, I am showing the classic ribbon, and I'm always showing the ribbon. So we do have some other options here, such as a simplified view. We also have the option to show the tabs only. So it all depends on what you're trying to do. I'll go ahead and change the view. So I'll change this to the simplified ribbon. And the simplified ribbon resembles OneNote on the web. So we just have a simple ribbon here with some of these simple commands. So it gives us a little more room to play with on the bottom. If you click on a tab, here are some of the basic commands. If you want more commands, you need to go ahead and click on the more options here as well. And here are some other commands that are kind of being moved out of the way so they're not cluttering the ribbon space. The other view that we can choose is show tabs only. So if I click on show tabs only, I'm only seeing my actual tabs, and now it's on demand. So if I want to access a font command from the home ribbon tab, I need to click on it. And now those commands are displayed as well. So go ahead and open up OneNote. I'll go ahead and put this back to the classic ribbon. And I'll also want to use the option that says always show the ribbon. If your quick access toolbar is not showing, just make sure that the hide quick access toolbar is not toggled on here as well. Now that we've seen what OneNote can do, we've taken a look at the environment, we've customized it a little bit. The next thing for us to do is to actually create a notebook, add sections, add pages, and add content. Now, I already did create a notebook, so I need to go ahead and skip over to adding a section, adding pages to that section, and then we'll take a look at the different types of content that we can add as well. I'll go back to my OneNote, and here we go. So just a nice clean canvas to work with. Here's my notebook, here's my section, and here is my first page, which is my untitled page. The first thing I'll do, I'll go ahead and give this page a title. Now I can either right click on the untitled page here and I can rename it. I can also just type right in here and type the name of the page. So I'll just call this one layout. Right? So layout or the structure of OneNote. Now here's what's really cool. Typically, if you're working in Microsoft Word, we're kind of forced to start working on the top left line there. But remember, this is a digital notebook. So just like a blank piece of paper, we can write anywhere on the notebook. So I can click anywhere and I can just go ahead and start typing. I don't have to use that top left location. I'll just click on a random place here and let's just talk about the actual structure. So the first part of the structure is the actual notebook. And the notebook is followed by, I'll go ahead and make this a bulleted list here. So my level 2 item is I have a section. And then each section has page. And then each page can actually have a subpage. So that's the basic structure of OneNote. Right? Now, the great thing about OneNote is that it is a digital notebook. So what are some of the things that we like about our notebook? Well, we can take it with us wherever we go, and we are recording our notes. Whether it's something very, very basic or something very, very major, we can take it with us. Right? So we can access from any mobile device. As long as we have an internet connection or network connection. So typically when I'm teaching OneNote, I like to ask my students, well, would you like to be able to take your notes with you wherever you go? Be able to pick up where you left off on another device that has an internet connection? And would you like to kind of just add your notes from any other application? And so that's the benefit of working with OneNote. Now I can move these around, which is pretty cool. So I can grab this. And of course, we can go ahead and add some content in here as well. I'll go ahead and give this section a name as well. To rename the section, we can right click as well. And here's the rename command. We'll take a look at some of these other commands that are available later on here. But I'll go ahead and rename this, and I'll just call this Getting Started. I'll go ahead and press Enter, and there we go. I can also change the color. So I'll give this some more of a orange color. And notice it gives that accent throughout the actual section here as well. Now we have some of the basic commands. So if I wanted to go ahead and give my page here the title, it already has the page title, that's fine. I'll go ahead and give this the heading 1 style for these as well. And then we have all the font commands that we need. So we can increase the font size, we can make things bold or italicized, we can change the colors if we want to. Right. So lots of pretty nice things that we can do here as well. So that is the layout. Right. Now you're going to create as many sections as you wish, pages as you wish, and if you want to use subpages, those are available as well. Let's take it a step further here. Let's go ahead and add some pages. We're already given a blank page. Let's go ahead and add some pages. I'm going to add actually 3 pages here, and let's get some structure in here. So I can add a page by clicking on the Add Page. It's going to add it at the end of the section. So here's my page. Notice when you're moving your cursor among these pages as well, we have a little icon here. We can also click here to add another page. So I'll click there as well. I have 2 untitled pages. So the next thing that I want to cover is adding content. So I'll go ahead and right click here and I'll rename this page. And I'll just type adding content. Now there's different types of content that we can add. Now if you take a look at the Insert tab, more than likely we're going to be adding content from the Insert tab. So we have tables, we have files, we also have images and media, and some other things over here as well. But for now we'll focus on tables, files, and images and media. So for this page here, I'll rename this one. This one will be all about tables and files. Now, this is going to be a subpage of adding content because tables and files are a type of content. So what I want to do is I want to move this over, make this a subpage of my adding content page. So this will be a page within a page. To do that, several ways I can do it. I can right click on this page. And right here, I have the make subpage command. So if I do that, it's going to indent it over to the right. It's going to demote it to a level 2 item, just like with working with a list. So I'll right click on it and I'll choose the make subpage. Now we can clearly see that adding content is a level 1 item, and then tables and files is a level 2 item or a subpage of that particular page. I'll go ahead and add another page for images and media. So again, I can click on the add page, or I can click on the little plus button here. It keeps it on the same level. If I don't want it to be on the same level, I can just drag it to the right. Right, so that's level 1. I can drag it to the left to promote it, or drag it to the right to indicate that it's a continued subpage of adding content. I'll go ahead and rename this one here as well, and this will be images and media. And I'm good to go. Right. So we can go ahead and create subpages either by right-clicking and choosing the subpage option, or we can just drag to the left to promote a page, or drag it to the right to make it a subpage as well. Go ahead and add a few pages and subpages and come right back. Let's go ahead and add some tables and files. So we'll focus on tables, files, images, and media. Feel free to explore the other types of content that we can add as well. I'll go ahead and click on tables and files here, and I'll just place my cursor where I want to insert my table. Now to insert a table, I can simply click on the Insert tab, and here we have the drop down for different types of ways that I can insert a table. I'll click on this drop down so I can draw a table if I want to. If I just want a 3x3 table, here's my table. Now I can go ahead and click on the cells, and I can go ahead and add content in here if I want to. The other way is from the Insert tab, I'll go back over here. I can actually insert a table. So this will provide me with a dialog box. So I'll go ahead and click here. And just like in Word and PowerPoint, it's going to ask you, well, how many columns do you want and how many rows do you want? So I can type it in here. 3 by 3, and I can press OK, and I'm good to go. So now I can go ahead and add some detail in here. And of course, now that I'm working with the table, I get the table contextual tab that has all the tools that I need to be able to manage the table, such as deleting rows, columns, or even the table, inserting rows and columns as well. And I can decide if I want to show the borders and add any cell shading there as well. I can also center align the text or right align, and I can actually sort the data here as well. So those are two ways that we can add a table. So for example, if I were just to put a couple of tasks in here, so this will be task, this will be task 1, and then task number 2. And this column will be the status column. And then we have the start date here as well. So those are the basics. I can go ahead and highlight all the content, go back to the home tab, and I can go ahead and just increase the font size. So I'll make everything a little bigger here. And that top row, I'll make that bold. And let's see, I'll click on the table tab here. And I want a different shading just for the top row. So I'll put a little color in here. I have black text, so I'll go for, let's see, a lighter color. It'll go for this blue here. So there we go. I'll also give the first column here a bold effect as well. And that's it. So if I wanted to add another column, maybe I want to add another column for the notes, I can click on the table here. And in the insert command group for the table, I can insert a column to the right or to the left. I can also insert rows below. I'll go ahead and insert a column to the right. And I'll click on my last row here and I'll insert a row below. Now I have room for another task. And I also have another column here for maybe the progress. Right. And I'm good to go. So that's how we work with a table. Now there's another option here as well. If you wanted to, you can also insert a table by using Excel. So basically this allows us to create a table in Excel, and once we're finished building the table, it will export the table into OneNote for us. So I'll click here, and so here's Excel. If I want to edit it here, I'll just need to click on the edit button. Doesn't look clickable, but it is. So here's my Excel file. And so now I can come in here and I can go ahead and enter some information. And now I have the benefit of being able to use formulas in here, calculations, and then I can go ahead and add my data in here as well. I'll just put some fictitious data in here to see what it looks like. So here's just some fictitious data that I added in here. I just have some formula in here that I can use. So here's the end result. I'll go ahead and close the Excel file here. I'll go ahead and save that. So it's basically embedded into OneNote, and here is the output, right? So any changes that we make, it will appear here in the table. If I want to make any changes, I can go back and click on Edit, and that will open up the Excel file for me here again. And I have all the Excel tools that I need to be able to manage the data that's being displayed on this table. I'll go ahead and close it out, and I'm good to go. And there we go. So go ahead and insert 3 different types of tables and come right back. Let's go ahead and add some files to complete this lesson. I'll just go ahead and move things around a bit here so I can make some room on the bottom to insert my files. I'll scroll down and I'll go to this line here. Now, when we're inserting files, we have a couple of different options. We have file printout, we have the file attachment, and then we have some special options for an Excel spreadsheet as well. So let's take a look at all 3. I'll go ahead and use the first option, which is a file printout. So this basically will give me a virtual printout of the document of my choice. So I'll click on File Printout here. And here's a PowerPoint presentation that I have. I'll go ahead and click on here. And once I click Insert, it inserts the actual slides from the presentation. So here's the first slide, which is the title slide. And as you can see, it maintains the integrity of these slides. Everything is still looks visually appealing. Everything is intact here as well, right? There are no anomalies. So here's the second slide. So you can actually present from OneNote if you want to. Just go to full screen mode, and you can present these slides. So that's pretty cool. So now at the top here, notice it also, so it gives me the printout. It also gives me a little icon here. So this is the actual file. So if I were to click on there, this basically is a link to that file. So if I double click on there, that will open up the original PowerPoint presentation. So I get the best of both worlds here. I'll ignore this message and I'll press OK. And here's the actual PowerPoint presentation. So that is pretty cool. I'll go ahead and close this here. Now I'll scroll down to the bottom and let's go ahead and insert a file attachment. So I'll click on File Attachment. And I have a OneNote Quick Start PDF guide here from Microsoft. I'll go ahead and include that here. You can choose any file that you want. It's going to ask you, do you want to attach the file or do you want to insert the printout? So kind of a repeat of what we see up here on the ribbon, right? So file attachment versus printout. Well, I already have a printout, so this time I just want to go ahead and attach the actual file. So let's see what happens if I choose that option. So it does not give me the printout, it only attaches the file for me. And now, just like with the PowerPoint file above, I can double click on that and I can open up that PDF from that location as well. So that is pretty cool. Now, what about the Excel spreadsheet? If I click on the drop down here, I have a couple of options. I can embed or attach an existing Excel spreadsheet. So I'll go ahead and click here. And in that same folder, I just have a little Excel file called My Tech Shop. I'll go ahead and click on there. And let's click on Insert and see what happens. So now it asks me three different things. So I can either attach the file, I can insert the spreadsheet onto my page here in OneNote, or I can insert a chart or a table that exists inside of that file. I'll go ahead and click on Attach File. And let's see what happens. So there's the actual file. So if I double click on there, just like I did before, I can open up that file. This time I want to go ahead and use the other option. I want to insert the spreadsheet. And there we go. So just like when we created that Excel table earlier, we have the same thing. If we want to be able to edit this data, we can click here. This will open up the Excel file for us, and then we'll be able to edit the actual file. So I'll go ahead and edit it because in here we cannot make any changes. So I'll go ahead and click on Edit here. And my Excel file opened in my other window. So here's the actual Excel file. And here's our information. I have a basic formula in here that we're using. So if I make any changes to this file and close it, it's going to update on my OneNote page, which is pretty cool. I'll go ahead and maybe I'll update one of the quantities here. Let's see if that 217 shows up. I'll go ahead and close this. I'll go ahead and save it. And there we go. So there is the 217. So pretty cool. So those are the different ways that we can actually insert a file either as an attachment or as a printout of that actual document as well. So go ahead and insert a couple of files, choose any file that you want to, and just explore it there on your OneNote page. Now that we've inserted some files, let's go ahead and insert some images and media. So I'll click on my images and media page here. And let's go ahead and insert, we'll just go from left to right. I'll go for a screen clipping, and then a picture, and then an online video. Now, I do have my browser open behind my OneNote. So when you take a screen clipping, it's going to minimize your OneNote window, and whatever's behind it, you can take a screen clipping of that. So I'll go ahead and place my cursor here where I want the screen clipping, and I'll go ahead and click on screen clipping. Here's the page that's behind. So now I can go ahead and clip any part of this page that I want to. I'll just go ahead and grab the actual device here. So I'll just kind of draw a little shape around it, and that's it. So we're able to actually take a screen clipping and put it right here into OneNote, which is really, really nice. So we can go ahead and just grab a screen, add it right into our notebook for context as well. Right. So here's the picture. If I do want to resize the picture, I can click on the inside of it. Right. So notice we have the outside here. The outside frame does not resize. If we click on the actual picture, we'll notice that we have the inside frame here. Now we can click on one of those to resize the actual picture. So I'll go ahead and make this a little bigger. And then I'll just go ahead and put it right there. So that is how we grab a screen clipping. So again, the main thing to know is that make sure you have your application behind your OneNote. So in that instance, we're able to take a picture of a screen. Another thing that we can do is we can actually take a picture. So if I click on the pictures drop down here, I can actually use my camera. So I'm using a mobile device, or I can use my webcam for my actual computer. We can take a picture, and the picture will be embedded right here into our actual application, which is pretty cool. I can also grab an image from a file, and I can go ahead and grab some online images here as well. I'll go ahead and click on the From Online, and I'll just take a look at some of the images that are available. So these are powered by Bing. So this is based on Bing search. So I can look for a picture if I want to, or I can just click on one of the topics there. So it does protect me because it's only displaying images that are available as part of the Creative Commons. Now remember, you are responsible for copyright. So you just want to be careful when you're inserting images here as well. So really nice pictures that we can find. We won't have access to as much pictures because we're in the Information Commons, or in the Creative Commons rather. If I were to uncheck this, then I would have access to a lot more pictures. But just keep in mind, they're not free to use. So stay in the Creative Commons. We also have a filter over here to the left that we can use to kind of filter the type of pictures that we're looking for. So by size, by type, by layout, and even more specifically for the color as well. Let's see what other options have been added. Yep, that's it. So those are the different options that we can use. But in this case, I just want to go ahead and insert an image from my computer. So I'll click on From File, and I have some pictures in here. I'll go ahead and grab this picture. We'll keep it simple, photo here. And here it is. So we can either insert an image from another application, in this case, a website. You can insert a picture from your computer, and you can go ahead and take a picture. Use your device camera to upload an image in here as well. Just remember, you can click on the inside to be able to resize. This is an actual photo, so we don't have the outer frame. We only have the inner frame in here as well. So those are the basics with inserting images. Go ahead and insert a few images, move them around, resize them, and come right back. let's go ahead and add some media. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down below my two pictures here. And we have a couple of options for inserting media. So we're still on the Insert tab, just going from left to right here. So I can go ahead and insert online video. I can also go ahead and record a video, and that will upload that particular video right here into my OneNote page as well. I'll go ahead and insert an online video. So I'll go ahead and click on online video, and it just tells us that we have to put the video address. So the process is a little different from Word and PowerPoint. We have to actually paste the URL in here. And we have a little reminder here of the video sources that are supported. I'm going to open up my Chrome here. Now here is an article. So if you click on that link, it brings you here and it shows the different sources from where we can embed video from. So we have Adobe Express, we have Canva, Dailymotion. As expected, we have YouTube as well. Right. In this case, I'll go ahead and copy the URL of a YouTube video. I'll just go to Microsoft's YouTube page here. I'll right-click on the video of my choice. I'll copy the video URL. And now I'll go back to my OneNote. And I'll place my cursor where I want to embed the actual video. I'll click on online video here, and now I can just copy and paste. So I can just press Control V. There it is. I'll go ahead and press OK. And so here's the actual video. So I'll scroll down, and I can resize this. So again, outer frame and inner frame. So I'll make this a little bigger. And I'll go ahead and move this over here to the middle. And now I can go ahead and play this. I'll scroll down a little more here. So it's just going to kind of buffer the first time you click on it. We turn off the volume here. And so there you go. So we can embed a video from an online source right here into our notebook, which is pretty cool. Now I cannot use full screen. Full screen is unavailable, but I do have all of the other tools in here, like the captions, and I can specify the video quality if I want to. So pretty nice. I'll go ahead and pause that video. So that's how we can go ahead and insert online video as well. I can also record video. So if I record the video, it's going to use any camera that I have attached to my computer, or if you're using a mobile device, you can use the camera that's available for your mobile device as well. So in this case, we're able to embed that video and we are good to go. Go ahead and embed a few videos. Go ahead and resize them as necessary and come right back. So far, we've been adding pages and inserting content. But let's take a look at some page templates here. So on the Insert tab, over to the right, we have the Pages command group. And from here, we can go ahead and search for some different page templates that are available. Page templates are a really nice way to be productive. There are a lot of types of template pages, meetings, projects, notes that we can use right here in our OneNote notebook. I'll go ahead and click on the top half here of the templates. And so it opens up some templates over here on the right. So I can search for academic templates, blank templates, business templates, decorative, and or planners. I'll click on the academic. So lots of notes in here, simple lecture notes. These are more academic. Then I have some blanks. So these are default kind of different paper sizes here, with different background colors that I can use. And then I have business. And let's go ahead and insert a page template for a project overview. So I'll go ahead and click here. And there you go. So I do want to make sure it's a level 1 item. So we can see it's level 1. And here is the project overview template. So we get the timestamp here, and we have all the details that we need to manage a particular project. So project name, company name, presenter name. And we just need to simply go ahead and enter our own information in here as well. So that is a pretty nice template. So I'll just go ahead and put a name in here. This project will be for OneNote. OneNote training, right? So there we go. So nice page template to be able to use. Now, I do want to be able to add some subpages here. Maybe I'll go ahead and add one for any meetings or notes, and one for a task list as well. So let's see, I'll come down here. I do have some different meeting notes that are available under the business hierarchy here. So I'll go for detailed meeting notes. And here, just like with the project overview template, we already have some nice information in here. And now we can just go ahead and enter the information when that meeting does happen, the date and the time, the location, the agenda. And so these work well right out of the box, right? So it's kind of really nice shell, making sure that you don't forget any important aspects of your meeting here as well. Now, I would like to look for something else. I do want to make this a subpage, so I'm just going to drag this over to the right to make it a subpage of my project overview. And I also want to go ahead and add something related to a planner. So under planner, I have a couple here. I have simple to-do list, I have prioritized to-do list, and I have the project to-do list. Well, let's try the project to-do list and let's see if that will work for us. I'll go ahead and move this over as well. So this one kind of gives us different projects here, right? So this is pretty simple. We have planning, prep, right? But I don't really want that one. I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. So I'll right click on it and I'll delete this. I just want a simple task list. So I'll click on simple to-do list here. And this looks better. So now I can go ahead and add my own tasks in here if I want to. And once I'm finished, I can go ahead and check it off as a completed task tag. So some really nice options in here for different templates that we can actually use. They come with their own, their own design in there as well. We have some decorative ones in here as well. Let's see what these look like. I'll go for the blue cloud, right? So just different backgrounds that are available. So you can always feel free to use a template to get that look and feel that you want. And then just go ahead and add your content on there as well. I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. And I'll also move my to-do list underneath my project overview. And I am good to go. Go ahead and insert a few page templates. And go ahead and just add some content as necessary. And then come right back. In Module 2, we're able to create a notebook, add a section. We're able to add pages and subpages. We're able to add some content to those pages as well. What we'll do next is we'll go ahead and add another section and we'll get ready for Module 3. For Module 3, we'll take a look at the opportunities that we have to integrate OneNote with Microsoft Outlook and Microsoft Teams. I'll make sure that I have my Outlook open and I also have my Teams application open as well. I'll go back to my OneNote and I want to go ahead and add a new section. Right now, here's my Getting Started section. So to add a section, I can either click on the plus icon here, or I can right click and add a new section. So either one will do the same thing. I'll go ahead and click on the plus icon to add a new section. Here's my new section. I'll go ahead and give it a title. I'll call it Integrations, and I'll go ahead and press the Enter key. So here we go. And for the first page, I'll just go ahead and give this a title as well. So this is specific to Outlook and Teams. Now, if I click back on the Home tab here and I take a look over to the right, there's a cluster where we have several opportunities to integrate Microsoft Outlook. We have Outlook tasks. We have the capability to email the contents of this page using Outlook. And we also have the meeting details as well. I'll go ahead and grab the meeting details first, and then we'll email the page, and then we'll take a look at the Outlook task option as well. So again, if we're taking notes, this is a really great way to make sure that we have all the meeting details ready so that we can take notes. I'll go ahead and click on meeting details here. And we can see it's taking a peek at my Outlook calendar over here. I can change the date if I want to, look for appointments for a particular date, but this will show the appointments that I have coming up here as well. So I could change this to another day, and this shows the appointment for that day. I'll go ahead and just click on this option here. I can also refresh the meeting. So if I've made any changes in Outlook while I was kind of still in here, I can refresh to pull in all the details of that particular meeting. Now, let's see what daily check-in has here. Right, so here's the details of that particular meeting. So we have the date of the meeting, we have the invitation message, so this is a Teams meeting, and we have our participants here from my sandbox. Don't have any notes in there, but if we did, they would actually appear down here. So we have the meeting details that we're able to import right here into our OneNote. We could take this wherever we want to go, and we can make some updates in here as well. Now I can add details in here if I want to. But the whole idea is that we can import the meeting details and use it to our benefit here as well. Okay. What I'd like to do, maybe I want to go ahead and send out, I'll go ahead and expand these here. So maybe I want to go ahead and email this page. So I'll click on email page. And let's see, looks like I have another dialog box open. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, I had to close a dialog box that was running in the background. I'll go ahead and click on the email page. And as you can see, it opens up my Outlook and it imports the details of that meeting right here into the message for me. So now I can go ahead and either send it out. It's actually added the recipients here for me, but maybe I can send this to someone else. Right? Maybe I'll send this out to my good friend Grady here, and I'll say, please review. And I can go ahead and send that out. Right. So you can do that with any page. So for example, if I go back to my getting started section here, and let's see if I go back up to, I'll go back up to tables and files. There's a lot of content on this page, but I can still email it. Let's see, I'll go ahead and email this page. And there's a lot of content. So, but as you can see, it's all the content that's on that page is included in the email. Now take a look at those files that I attached. They're showing up as attachments over here as well. So this is pretty cool. Right? So now when we send this message out, our recipient can go ahead and interact or open a separate copy of these particular files as well. I'll go ahead and cancel that. Don't want to send this out. Just wanted to kind of take a look to see what it looks like here. I'll go back to my integrations section and let's go ahead and take a look at, let's go to Outlook. So I'll go to Outlook. Let's see what opportunities we have to integrate Outlook with OneNote. Now you'll see right here, as I'm interacting with my messages on the Home tab in Outlook, under the Move command group, I do have the opportunity to send the details of a message to a particular OneNote page. So I'll go ahead and pull up an email message here. And maybe this message is important. I want to be able to add this to my notebook so that I can address it later. So I'll pull up a message. I'll just pull up this one. So whether I'm in the message or on my inbox, I can go ahead and send to OneNote. So I'll use the send to OneNote option. And so when we do this, it's asking us where exactly do we want to place the contents of this email, which one of our notebooks, what section, and what page. I'll go ahead and expand the OneNote introduction here. I do want it to go on integrations, and I'll add it to that Outlook and Teams page here. And then I'll go ahead and press OK. And here it is. So here are the contents of that message. We get some of the header information in here as well, which is pretty cool. And so here we go. And we have the actual attachment here that I can go ahead and open as well. So that's going the other way from Outlook into OneNote. Now there's another option here, which is the Outlook tasks. So what if I wanted to convert something to a particular task? Let's say we need to add some meeting notes in here. I'll go ahead and assign a Outlook task. And let's say this needs to be addressed by a certain time. I can click on custom. I can just say, you know what, this task needs to be completed this week or tomorrow or next week. I'll go for custom. I'll just say that this needs to be completed by Friday. And I'm sorry, we'll start today. Needs to be completed by Friday. And I'll just put some more detail in here. So in this case, it's agenda items. Now what's pretty cool too, if I want to, I can assign this task to someone else that's on my team. I can go ahead and specify the status, the priority. This is high priority. I'll go ahead and press save and close. We can see the little task flag here that appears. If you move your mouse over it, it gives you the details. Well, I want to go to my Outlook. I'll take a look at my task and see if that shows up there. So I'll click on my task app here. And here it is right here. So here's the agenda items that appears right here inside of my Outlook tasks. Right. Let's see if I mark this complete. Will it show up as complete in my OneNote? I'll go back to OneNote here. And it should show up just a little bit. Let's see if I can sync it. I'll go to another section and come back. There you go. So we are dynamically linked to our Outlook. So those are 3 different ways, or 4 different ways rather, that we can integrate OneNote into Microsoft Outlook. Let's take a look at some of the options that we have to integrate OneNote into Microsoft Teams. I'll go ahead and open up my Teams here. So here is my team, just the Office 365 training here. Now we will know Microsoft has made a change. We used to have a wiki for all of our channels. Now we actually have a OneNote notebook. So if I click on the Notes tab here as a part of my channel, it's actually creating the notebook. So I'll just wait a few seconds for it to generate that, and we'll take a look at it. So it did load. So here's the web interface for OneNote. So we'll notice if we want to add a page, everything is kind of aligned to the left here. So if I want to add a page, so I can give this page a title, and I can add a page from here as well. We don't have templates with the online version, but we can sync an existing OneNote notebook with a channel here as well. I'll show you another channel that actually has a notebook up and running. So I'll go back here. I'll click on Notes. right? So this one, and this is really what the notebook is designed for, to kind of keep a paper trail of what's happening on the team or the channel, and to provide things like best practices for using the actual channel or managing an actual project. So what I can also do is I can integrate a notebook. So I can go ahead and add a tab. So if you have the rights to do this, we can add a tab. And one of the tabs that we can add is an existing OneNote notebook. Let's see if I can add the notebook that I'm working on as a part of this channel here. So I'll go ahead and click on Add a Tab. And if I don't see OneNote here on the list, I'll go ahead and search for OneNote. Here it is. I'll go ahead and click on OneNote. And it's fetching my notebooks. And here's my list of notebooks here. So I'll grab the one that's OneNote Training. Here it is. I'll go ahead and click on Save. And it's going to add the details here for that particular notebook. This is actually OneNote Training. I need OneNote Introduction. So I'll go ahead and add that. Where is OneNote? Here it is. OneNote Introduction. I'll go ahead and save. And this gives us a good opportunity to take a look at the web interface or the web version of the desktop application. So over here, I can show the navigation on the left pane. So things are a little different because our focus is on the left as opposed to the right and the top here. So here are my two sections, and here are the pages. And I actually kind of like this view a little better, more of a tree view here. Right, so here are my images and media. Here's my YouTube video. I insert it, so we can play it here as well. So we can either use the existing notebook that comes with a team channel, or we can add our own notebook. Now, the great thing about adding my notebook here to this channel, all of the members of this channel automatically will have the capability to collaborate on this notebook. So no need to actually share it out. It's automatically shared here as well. Right. And again, if you just want to change the ribbon interface, you can always change the ribbon here as well, because we do get the condensed ribbon. So that's the integration there with Microsoft Teams. So even though we don't have templates here on the web version, we can add page templates from the desktop app, and we can see that they'll actually show up here in the web version as well. So pretty cool. For Module 4, we'll discuss tagging. We'll take a look at some of the drawing tool features. We'll take a look at the updated dictation feature and the transcription feature as well. I'll go back to my OneNote here. I'll go ahead and add a new section for new features. And we'll start off by talking about tagging. So what exactly is tagging? So if you take a look here on the Home tab, we have a pretty large command group for tagging. We actually used the tag earlier, which was the Outlook task. But we have the most popular one here, which is basically the to-do tag. Once we apply tags, we can search for tags in our document. So that's a nice way to keep an eye on what's being completed, what needs to be taken care of. I'm going to close my meeting details pane over here to the right. So here are the different tags that we have. So we have follow-up, we have to-do, important, critical. The first 8, they actually have shortcuts assigned to them. So if you want to assign a shortcut key to a tag, you can go ahead and do that. I can also customize tags. So I can create my own tags, or I can kind of reorder them as well. So what I'll do here, let's see, I'll just want to add some content to this page. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy some Maybe I'll copy this, these meeting details here. Let's see if I can copy these over. Okay. And I'll go ahead and expand these. So let's see, for the participants, maybe I need to go ahead and make sure that everyone, has responded. So I'll place my cursor here and I'll go ahead and apply a follow-up tag. So we can see the follow-up tag appears right here to the left. Now for the notes, I already have a little tag here for add details. I'll add that as a to-do item. And so we can see we have our tags right here and also right here. Now, I'm going to go back to some other pages here. Let's see, I'll go back to getting started. We had a lot of content on here. And then I'll go to the project overview page. And from here, I can go ahead and use some tags as well. So for the project goals, I'll say that this is important. For the team resources, I'll go ahead and mark that as critical. Right. So I just want to go ahead and add a few tags because eventually what I want to do is find those tags. Right. So this is whatever is important to me. I can go ahead and tag there as well. We have to do priority 1. So lots of different types of tags here that we can use. Now I want to go ahead and customize a tag. So I'll click on customize a tag here. And here's my customize tag dialog. So from here, I can create a new tag. I can modify a tag. And I can also reorder these tags so that they appear on my ribbon here as well. Right. So I do have a couple of tags in here. I'll go ahead and create a new tag. So when we click on the new tag, we basically need to provide a name, specify the formatting, and we're good to go. I'll go ahead and create a tag for a milestone. So I'll just use some Microsoft Planner language here. So I'll call it milestone. I'll choose one of these symbols. Milestone is typically a diamond. And let's see. Don't see one in here. I'll go ahead and use maybe this little, I'll use a little notebook icon here. And I want the font color to be, we'll go for a turquoise. I don't want a highlight color, and that's it. I'll go ahead and press OK. And here is my milestone tag. I can move it down, I can move it up. I can even modify an existing tag. So here's the important. I'll go ahead and modify that one. And I'll just change the font color to red. And there we go. So now for a milestone, let's see. This here. Milestone would be getting the project description. So I'll apply a milestone to there. So here's my little milestone. So it actually formats the text that's right next to it. So those are how tags work. Now, that's an effective way, but to be efficient, we need to be able to find our tags. So I'll click on Find Tags here. And look at this, my tags appear over here on the right in a pane. I can expand that pane if I want to. So I have a lot of different tags in here. Now I can group the tags if I want to. So I can group them by tag name, or I can group them by the section, title, date, so forth and so on. Here are some attendance tags. Right? These were automatically inserted for me when I added the meeting details. So a lot of attendance tags. So here are some critical tags here. And the great thing is if I click on each of these will bring me to that actual place in my notebook. And by the way, I'm searching all notebooks right now, not just this notebook. So I can search for these tags across all of my notebooks. I'll keep it simple. I'll just search this notebook. So notice how my list refreshes. Here's my one critical task. I'm going to head on over to another section here. I'll click on Team Resources, and it brings me right to the Getting Started section in my OneNote Introduction notebook. And here is that particular critical task. What about project goals? Here it is. So it's a really nice way to tag your notes and be able to filter your search so that you're only looking for those particular tags as well. Right? So again, right now it's grouped rather by tag name, but we have other grouping options in here as well. I can refresh the results, make sure I'm getting real-time results here. I can even go ahead and create a summary page that kind of gives me a summary of all of those different ones here as well. So pretty nice. And so those are tags. Really nice way to just tag things that are important across your notebooks and be able to find them, and then of course act on them. Let's take a look and see if there are any enhancements with the drawing tool. So I already have a new page here that I created for the drawing tool under my new features section here. So the drawing tool is right here. I can go ahead and click. If you're not seeing the drawing tool, you can go to the OneNote options, customize the ribbon, and just make sure that it's turned on. So I can right click on my home tab. I can customize the ribbon, and on the right side, just make sure that your drawing tool is turned on and press OK. Right. I already have it, so I'm good to go. I'll click on my drawing tool. So as expected, I have some different pens that I can use here. I have a ruler. I can format the background. I can insert shapes. I have the newer version of the ink to shape option here. So as I'm drawing a shape, I can automatically have OneNote convert it to a proper shape, not a squiggly shape. We have ink to math, so we can insert some mathematical equations that are handwritten because we don't have those keys on our keyboard. And different options here as well. And we can also get help on ink in terms of what's new as well. I'll go ahead and keep it simple. I'll just choose a pen here. As expected, we can choose the pen color. We can choose the pen size, thickness, right? I'm going to go with a red pen, and I'll go with the 1 millimeter thickness here. I'll click away from it. And now I can just go ahead and freely write on my canvas, right? So I can draw arrows. I can annotate. So that's really what the drawing tool is for. We can annotate. If we go back to that, let's see. If we go back to the screen clipping that I took earlier, we can see that this was annotated, right? So we can just kind of freely write on our notebook, just in digital form. So that's a pretty nice use of the drawing tool there. I'll come back over here and I'll go ahead and draw some shapes. So I'll turn my pen back on here again, and I'll draw a rectangle. So kind of looks like a rectangle here. I want some help, so I'll go ahead and use the automatic shapes. I'll go ahead and turn that on. I'll draw my rectangle again. And there you go. So it automatically converts it to a proper shape for me. I'll go for a triangle. Go for a square. Diamond. Yeah, doesn't like my heart there as well. Right? So if you want to go back to just regular select mode, you can click on the select handle here. Now, if I click on these are actual shapes. So I can rotate them, right? I can make them bigger if I want to. And it's a really nice annotating tool. So now I can go ahead and use my pen and I can highlight things, right? So maybe I'll go ahead and draw a rectangle around this piece of content here, right? Now we can actually hold it. So while we're drawing a shape now, a new feature is we can just kind of pause at the end and it will convert it to the actual shape for us. I'm going to grab the ruler. So here's my ruler. My ruler helps me to draw straight lines. If I want to rotate the ruler, I can just scroll on my mouse. So scroll up, and now I can draw lines at specific degrees as well. I'll just uncheck the ruler here, and I'm good to go. So we have other things here, like the highlighter. So if I want to highlight something, I can go ahead and do that. Different highlighter colors. Here's my eraser. So if I want to erase some things, I can. Unlike in PowerPoint, we can actually erase the shapes. That's in here as well. All right. And here's the newer action pen. So we don't have the action pen actually showing up here. So the action pen is coming, and it's basically a tool that it allows us to use gestures to perform different tasks here as well. So it's telling me here that I can use that gesture just to remove some text. So let me try it here. I'll go ahead and click on my pen. Well, let's see if I scribble through that. Nope, not working for me. Let me turn off these shapes here. Okay, it's a work in progress. Go ahead and delete that. Let's see if I can add the pen here. So we have the pen, the highlighter. Yeah, we don't have that. But there is an action pen that allows us to use gestures. So when that comes in, we can take a look at that. Here's the laser pointer that I can use. And I can actually mark up things with the laser pointer as well, which is pretty cool. Right. So those are just some of the different things that we can do. If you're using this for math, OneNote is used a lot in the classroom and education. And one of the reasons is because we have free form writing here, and I can actually use the math equations here. So if I just wanted to add a simple formula like force equals mass times acceleration. So there we go. I can either correct it if I didn't get it right. It's supposed to be a big A, not a small a. Let me write that again. There we go. So I can go ahead and insert that equation over here. And we're good to go. So at the end of the day, we can use the drawing tool to annotate our document, right? And make really good use of it. So go ahead and check out the drawing tool and come right back. Let's take a look at the dictate option here. So on the home tab, here we have the dictate option. We have dictate and we have transcribe. So I'll go ahead and click on dictate here so we can use our voice and it will dictate our words for us. Now, what's the difference between the transcription and the dictate? Well, the transcription is really designed for a conversation. So if you are in a meeting and you want to record the transcription of the meeting, if 3 individuals are in the meeting, once you turn the transcription on, it's going to assign a transcription to each speaker. So it will let you know who is speaking, show them what they're saying, and also give you a timestamp as well. I'll go ahead and click on dictate here. Here's my little dictate icon. And as I'm talking, I can see that it's actually converting my speech into text. So it's a nice way to be able to just save some time from typing. Sometimes it just works best to just speak out loud what you want to say rather than trying to type it as well. Once I'm done, I can just go ahead and close the dictation and I'm good to go. So there we go. Here is my speech to text. I'll go ahead and increase the size here and let's see how it did. So it even adds the punctuation in there, which is pretty cool. So I have my commas in here, I have my periods. So it's a pretty nice tool, right? So pretty nice. Okay, now what about dictation? Now, we'll go ahead and click over here actually. So the transcription. So if we just kind of hover over it, it tells us that it converts speech to a text transcript. Each speaker is individually separated and syncs with your ink strokes and audio, which you can then edit. I'll go ahead and launch the transcription. It's going to open up the transcription pane over here. Just need to make sure that we're logged in. If there are any actions that you need to take, it will inform you. So I'll go ahead and get that set up, and then I'll get a transcription going here. Okay, so I'm already set up here. So with the transcription, I can either upload audio. So maybe I have some recorded audio here. I can either upload audio, and it will actually scan the audio for me and go ahead and generate the transcript as well. A lot of modern, meeting software, they provide a transcription for us as well. It's kind of the same logic that's being used here. Now I can start recording. I'm going to go ahead and start a recording, and let's see if this will work with my microphone serving a dual purpose here. So let's go ahead and see. Hello and welcome to OneNote Introduction. My name is Mo Jones. I'll be your instructor for today. We'll discuss 4 different modules. In the first module, we'll just get started. We'll take a look at the interface and be able to understand how we can create a notebook. In module 2, we'll go ahead and actually create a notebook. We'll add some content, more specifically files, images. In module 3, we'll take a look at the current integrations that we have with other applications. And finally, in module 4, we'll take a look at the new Dictate, Transcript, and drawing tools as well. So I'll click on Save and Transcribe. So it does upload to OneDrive. So depending on how long your transcription was, it may take a little while. But here it is. So we can see the timestamp is identifying me as speaker 1. So if we had 2 speakers in here, we would have speaker 1 and speaker 2. And you can go ahead and edit the transcript as well. And it's 46 seconds. So we can kind of review it here. And I can go ahead and add it to the page. Right. I can also just with text, with speakers, with the timestamps, or with speakers and timestamp. I'll go for these speakers and timestamp. And here's the actual transcript. So we have the speaker and we have the timestamp as well. Let's see if I'll put this down here. Make this look a little neater. There you go. So that is the transcript. So now I can go ahead and close this window here and I am good to go. So a really nice tool, and OneNote is perfect for recording a transcript. That wraps up module 4. So the next thing for us to do here is we may consider sharing our notebook. I did share it to Teams already, but if we want to share it to an individual or 2, we can use the share feature. So it's a good idea to check the spelling. So I'll click on the review tab and I'll go ahead and check the spelling. Just like in the other Microsoft applications, we can also press the F7 key to check the spelling as well. So I'll go ahead and run the spell checker. It tells me that the spelling is complete. I'll check my other section here. Right. So it tells me OneNote finished checking the selection. Do you want to continue checking the remainder of the page? Yes, I do. And here's some options here. I'll go ahead and ignore that. Doesn't like the names. Spellings are okay, and I'm good to go. So I'll go ahead and run the spell checker here. So we do have to run the spell checker for each section. Each section is behaving independently, just like a worksheet in an Excel workbook. Right. So I have run the spell checker here. Now, the next thing that I can do is I can use the search. So over here to the far right, I can search my notebooks. Now I can search all of my notebooks. I can search a particular section. I can search just this notebook. I'll go ahead and enter a search term in here. And let's see, I'll search for project. And just by typing project here, I get a lot of different options here that I can use, right? So I'll go ahead and I'll change the scope to just this notebook. The results here are for all of my notebooks. So I just want it to be for this notebook. And I can also go ahead and pin the results here. So I'll go ahead and click on the pin. So now I can pin my results to the right. And now I have a little more control. I don't have to worry about that search window disappearing on me. And just like with searching with tags, we can search different areas, section, notebook, or all notebooks. Right now the scope is for this notebook. And here are all the different places that has a match for project. So if I were to click on, let's say, meeting title here, it brings me right to that page, and that actual part of that page that has that keyword on there as well. Right? So I can do that. I can limit the search to this section if I want to. So that is pretty cool. We get a nice little hierarchy in here that we can use. I can sort ascending. And again, I can either sort by section, sort by title, or sort by date. So a lot of the features that we're used to when it comes to searching Microsoft, we have filters, we have sorting capabilities that we can use here as well. We can also search audio files, right? So if I had an audio file and I mentioned project in there, we can also search for that keyword or that phrase within an audio file. So we're good to go here as well. So I've run my spell checker. I've taken a look at search here. I'll go ahead and close my search pane, and I'll go ahead and share. So I'll click on the file tab here. I don't have to worry about saving. I did save it to OneDrive, so it's syncing automatically. I can check the sync status here if I want to. So if I click on the file tab, I can click on view sync status, and I can see those different notebooks here that are syncing. I'll go back to the file tab. So we can manually sync them if they're just have not, synced to SharePoint yet. But right now I want to go ahead and share this notebook. So I'll click on the share dialog. And here is our familiar share dialog here. So I just need to determine who do I want to share it with, how do I want to share it, and what type of access do I want my recipient to have. Well, in this case, I'll share it with Adele, and I'll use Outlook for that. So I can either send the invitation via email or I can copy the link. Right? We can also share this to Teams as we saw before. So I'll just say, please collaborate. Now, in terms of what type of access do I want Adele to have? I want Adele to be able to collaborate. So I want to make sure Adele has edit rights. I'll go ahead and click on send. And I'm good to go. So now Adele can go ahead and open up that file. When Adele opens the file, I can see Adele's avatar show up, and I can see where Adele is working in this file. So we can have real-time collaboration here as well. Since I shared this, I may want to do something. I'll go back to I may want to password protect one of these sections. So to password protect the section, we password protect sections, not pages and not the entire book. So if I want to go ahead and maybe protect some of this transcription in here, to password protect the section, you can right click on it and choose to password protect the section. Right? We'll cover that in our next lesson, but for now, just go ahead and check out the search feature. Go ahead and share your notebook and make sure to check your spelling as well and come right back. Let's finish up by protecting a section of our document here. I'll go ahead and password protect the new features section. So I'll right click on the section and I'll go ahead and click on password protect the section. So here's my password protection pane that opens over here on the right. I'll go ahead and set a password. I need to put the password in 2 times. We just get a little caution here. All right. So I just got a little dialog box on my other monitor just telling me that it's adding the password for me. And I'm going to go ahead and lock all of my sections. So I'll go ahead and press lock all. And I can see that my section now is locked. If I want to unlock it, I need to go ahead and press the enter key. Now the other 2 sections, getting started, integrations, these are not locked. Only the sections that has passwords will be locked as well. So even if I share this, my recipient will not be able to view the content that's in this section, none of the pages, until they enter the password. To unlock it, I need to press the enter key, or in this case, I just clicked on the area here. And if I type in the password, I'll go ahead and press OK. And I am good to go. Right. Well, let's see here. I don't want to take a look at something else. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this section. I'll go ahead and take a look at Adele's mailbox. Take a look at the share invitation here. So here's the OneNote introduction. So I'll go ahead and open this here. And this will open up OneNote online. I'll go ahead and sign in with Adele's credentials here. And so here's the online version of that notebook. Let's see if I can access the new features section. And as you can see, it says that it's password protected. So I need to go ahead and enter the password. So I'll type the password in here and press OK. And now the content of that section is being revealed. So here's the drawing tool. Here's the Dicate and Transcribe. And here's the actual file, the actual sound file that can be replayed as well. So that is how we can password protect, and that's how we can share a file. So looks pretty good here as well. Just another thing here, I'll go ahead and unlock this here as well. It still has not synced. I'll go back to the View tab. Now, one of the things that we can do is we can kind of move things around just a little bit. Again, this is optional. But if I take a look at the tabs layout here on the view, I can go for vertical tabs as opposed to horizontal tabs. So if I change it to vertical tabs, right, it kind of pushes everything to the left to mimic the online experience. Right? So you may want to just change your layouts to a more vertical orientation. So this way we have a nice tree over here. And here are our notebooks, the sections, and then all of our pages are now to the right. So all the controls are in one column as opposed to the horizontal top left and on the column on the right here as well. So feel free to go ahead and do that. Some other little things that we can do on the View tab, if we can change the page color as well. So we can always change the page color. And we can go ahead and give it a more of a notebook look. We can add one of these ruled lines here as well. the old-fashioned graph paper. There we go. So very good. So that concludes our course. Congratulations on completing the course. Just a quick recap. We talked about getting started. We took a look at what we can do with OneNote. Then we're able to create a notebook, add some content. We had several different types of content. Then we're able to take a look at how OneNote integrates with other common Office applications. Then we took a look at some of the newer features that were available as well. So congratulations on completing the course. The only thing left to do is to enjoy OneNote.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Joe Patty, and I'm going to be facilitating this course for you today. And today we're talking about Copilot with OneNote. Now, OneNote is one of my favorite applications because really it's just simply a virtual notebook. And you'll see here that I've created this notebook with different tabs to separate my content. For instance, I have my tasks, my project alpha that I'm working on a project called Project Beta, some meeting notes, some quick notes for myself, and tips and tricks to help me out throughout the day. Now, before we get into OneNote with Copilot, we first have to understand what exactly is Copilot. Copilot is a powerful admin tool for Microsoft that allows users to automate repetitive tasks, improve efficiency, and also save time. Now, it utilizes machine learning and AI technology to analyze your workflow and then suggest code snippets based on your specific needs. And with Copilot, you can automate data manipulation, formatting, calculations, and so much more without actually needing extensive programming knowledge. Now, a couple things with Copilot is the way that it comes out with outputs. An input is when you ask it a question, and then the output will be the result or the answer to that question. And the way that it randomizes this is known as stochastic process. Now, stochastic process in AI models can lead to slightly different results each time the model is run. So even though we put in the same input, right, I can say, hey, how much does this equal out to, my total sales? It might not be word for word the same exact output. And this is often what is desired, right? We often want randomness so that none of us have the same answers. So just know that if you're following along with this video, that you will never get the same answer as me, unless it's something really straightforward like, give me the total sales that I've made. It will give you the total sales. That's not random. But if you ask it to give you insights, it might give you something totally different than the insights it gives me. Another thing is a couple of the pros and cons of using Copilot. So we're going to start off with the pros. Productivity boost, right? It aims to enhance productivity by automating various tasks such as writing emails or creating presentations or even taking meeting notes, which is great. We can also integrate it with Microsoft Suite, which is what we're doing today. We also have to understand that it's a natural language process, which means we're able to just put in inputs naturally, and then we get results. And the best part about Copilot is learning and adaptation. It's always designed to learn from our user interactions. So the more questions we ask over time, it starts to understand how we think about our data. Now, some of the cons of using Copilot are first off, potential bias and inaccuracies, right? Of course, this is a new technology, so sometimes it might generate inaccurate information based on the data it was trained on. And you'll notice that throughout the course that sometimes I might not get the exact answer I want, and I need to teach it what I want. You'll also see here that there's an adoption and learning curve. As with any new technology, you're going to have to get used to using the interface or even certain input commands that you're going to ask it or certain prompts that you want to look at. So that's why this video is going to be super helpful for you because it's going to allow for you to understand those learning curves. And last but not least, ethical concerns, of course. It's an AI assistant. So we want to make sure that we're not just using it to generate misinformation or plagiarize content. Now, the last quick note before we actually dive into this is that Microsoft Copilot is still in development. and its final capabilities, the pricing, availability, is yet to be determined. So as with anything else that is AI powered, it's crucial to approach it with a critical mindset, right? We want to be sure that we're maintaining our privacy and security. We're going to comply with any of our company's rules, right? And this AI is definitely not a replacement for human expertise or decision making. So we are actually using it as a tool, not a replacement. You'll see here in the Home tab that we actually have access to the Copilot pane. It's one of the left commands here on our ribbon. And if you give it a click, we're going to open up our Copilot pane, and it gives you a couple of different things and prompts that we can start to use. Whether we want to summarize a page or draft a to-do list from maybe meeting notes, or even list some of the pros and cons in our meeting notes. You'll also notice that we could tell it what you wanted to do in the prompt area, or even click the little view prompts, and you have here create, where we can create some different prompts like what are some tips, help me plan. So they give you a bunch of ideas on what you can use. Understand, list pros and cons of quarter four sales, how to improve the plan, or even do a breakdown. So you have a ton of different prompts that you can utilize here. Or you could just tell it other things you want to do, like something, create a list explaining how to present a PowerPoint. And let's see what it comes up with. So as always, it will work on its request, finish up. And it says, here is a list of steps that can help you present an effective PowerPoint. Look how amazing this is. I always find it amazing watching the Copilot just go through and feed. And now what we can do is copy this. And I might want to put this in my tips and tricks. I have here presentations. So I'm just going to put it down here and then paste it. And there we go. So now we have a bunch of information about how we can create a awesome looking and an effective looking PowerPoint. So Copilot for OneNote is really amazing. It can help you create these wonderful notes, and it can give you so many different ideas on what to do. Now you will see right here, we also have how can I improve my presentation skills? What are some common mistakes to avoid in PowerPoint presentations? And these are the things that will come through the more you use Copilot. So if I start asking about presentations, that's what it's going to gear towards, is presentations. If you ever want to reset this, you can just simply click on change topic right here, and this will reset all of your previous prompts. So it won't be all about presentations anymore. It'll be about whatever you want. For instance, if I ask about how to create a pizza, then it's going to start prompting me on pizza. So it learns as it goes. But if you ever want to reset, just click change topic. It's working on it, and then it'll go back to the original prompts. And let's let it do its thing. And then we'll take a look at give me ideas. Taking a little longer than usual, but with AI, you never know. You always get it randomized. So always remember that the prompts that you put in here will never be the same as mine. Even though you might say the same exact prompt, we're both going to get different outputs. And that's just the way that AI works right now, is it's a randomizer. This helps for things like plagiarism and to stop really a lot of repetitive outputs. But yeah, this is taking a little longer, so I'll just exit out and open it back up. But it should be already reset, which it is. Let's say that I also want to add a tip and trick about being a team leader. So right on my page here, I want to talk about being a team leader, but I don't actually know how to be a team leader yet. Maybe I'm new to the role and I want a little bit of a guide on how to actually be a great team leader. So what I'm going to do is go over here, and in one of my prompts, remember you can always view your prompt to create things. They have a prompt that says, give me ideas. I actually really like this prompt a lot You can give ideas on anything. So I'm going to say, give me ideas on ways to be a great team leader. And let's view that prompt. So it's going to work on a request, go through that. And it's going to say, oh, how awesome, as always. Once it's done, we just simply click copy, and we can paste it straight into our notebook here. So now we have some great tips and tricks on how to become a great team leader. So go through and really look at some of these prompts. I mean, they have so many. Or help you plan something. Maybe you want to help me plan a meeting, right? Or help me plan a team offsite. And if you really do like the output, just give it a thumbs up. And you can choose what you like, what you didn't like, and you can even share this as a screenshot. Don't worry though, you don't have to do this each time, but it does help to benefit all of us, because if we all continue to contribute to Copilot, it can only get better. So I do typically, if the AI is incorrect, I'll click down or the thumbs down here, and then I'll explain what went wrong. Or if I really do like the response and the output, I'll like it. And I'll say, yeah, that was a great response, which I really do like this one. I mean, look what it says here. Being a great team leader involves a combination of skills and qualities. Lead by example, communicate effectively, empower your team, provide support and guidance, recognize and reward success, foster a positive team culture, be a good listener, and be adaptable. I mean, that is great key points and skill sets that you need to be a great team leader. So this is something I didn't have to leave OneNote for or go research. I can do it all within Copilot, which is amazing. Okay, let's say I need to draft some sort of plan, and I don't exactly know how to start that plan. So I'm going to click back over to Project Alpha. I have my project overview here. I have some logistics, and I also have my project team. And what I want to do is add in the logistics, a plan for this Project Alpha. So I'm going to click over here, and I'm going to go to my prompt to create, and I'm going to say, help me plan. Now, right now you'll see add details like activity, time, location. I could say, help me plan a meeting for Project Alpha. And let's say, help me plan a meeting for Project Alpha at 8 a.m. on April 17th at, and let's do a location, SF Salesforce Tower. And let's send that prompt out and see what it does. So you'll see here, for instance, that it says, I'm sorry, but I'm not able to schedule meetings or perform. However, I can provide you with some information that can help you plan. So even though we can't actually feed into like a live calendar, it can still help to give us some of that plan. And I'll just copy this. You will notice that there are some references here. These references are from this section. So we have information already for Project Alpha, and it can pull that information right away, which is amazing. So it's pulling Dr. Emma Richards. If I go up, you'll see here already we have Stanford's Dr. Emma Richards. So it pulls information and it creates the plan for us. So I'll copy that. I will paste it here. And of course, I'm just going to get rid of that first part where it says, I'm sorry, I cannot schedule the meeting. And now I have a little bit of a plan. So I'll say Project Alpha has a main research facility located in San Francisco Bay. And on April 17th, we'll have the meeting at 8 a.m., Salesforce Tower. So this is great information. It's helping me to plan what this meeting is going to look like. And we can even see here that it's considering inviting the key personnel from the project Dr. Emma Richards, which would make sense in this plan. So I'll probably call up Dr. Emma, see if she's available, and see if we can set this up. Even though Copilot can't actually create or schedule a meeting, it can give you some great details and ideas on planning this meeting out. One of my favorite features about Copilot is that it can draft to-do lists for us. So let's say that I'm working in Project Beta here. And inside of Project Beta, I have this project overview. And there's a ton of stuff that this project is saying we need to do. So what I want to do is I want to draft a to-do list. Now you can do this two ways. You can either just open up Copilot and click on draft to-do list, which is nice. Or you could just say, hey, draft a to-do list. I'm just going to use this prompt since it already exists. I'm going to say draft a to-do list here for Project Beta. And I'm going to run that. So it's going to go through the project overview and anything that's related to Project Beta in my OneNote, and it's going to start to draft a to-do list. And look how amazing this is. It just goes right through, starts to tell me what I need to do. And it'll even ask you, is there anything else you would like me to add or change to this? And I'm going to say either add conduct marketing research, or I can say what is the recent advancements in biotechnology. I'm going to just click copy, go over to my tasks, and now I can create something for my tasks. Let's say this is due in March, or, well, let's say July. Let's go in the future because right now it's April 16th. So let's go to July 2024, and then I will put in that to-do list. You can even, of course, change this. So I'm going to just take this out right here. I'll also delete this as well. And let's just change this to actual to-dos. They have the to-do. You can use Control to do this, but I like it like that. That way I can start to pin off when I've actually done this. Yes, I've done this. I've done that. So once again, Copilot, amazing technology, can go through an entire overview of a project and pull out everything you need to do. Let's say that I'm working in Project Alpha. And we have a lot of information about this project. We have the project overview, we have the logistics of the project, and also the project team. But I don't want to really read through all these notes. I mean, there's a ton of notes here. So what I want to do instead is use Copilot's ability to summarize. So I'm going to just change the topic to change this back. Or another thing you can do is just exit Copilot and click it again. And it'll bring back those three main prompts, which are summarize, draft a to-do list, and list the pros and cons. I'm going to click on summarize, and you can summarize everything about something. So I'll say summarize everything about Project Alpha. And it's going to go through all these different pages, not just the project overview, but the logistics, the team, and let's send that prompt out and see what it comes back with. That way I can just get a quick overview. I don't need to really read through everything. And there we go. I know that might look like a lot, but it's really not that bad. It's very squeezed in here. And of course you can make this a little bigger and see how small it really is. So now I can get a great idea about what Project Alpha truly is. You'll also see referencing as well. So there are some references. You can see who's leading Project Alpha. So as I said before, when you put in a prompt, it continues off that prompt. So everything's more relative to the previous prompt. If you ever want to change that, you can click change the topic. But let's see, who is leading Project Alpha? Once again, it's going to go through the project team. From your section, Project Alpha is a highly classified research, and here's the elite technologies, Dr. Emma, and it'll even tell you where it's referencing that from. So it has two references. One is going to be from here that I can quickly go to. It will even say, are you sure you want to continue? You can say yes, and it'll showcase it. And I can click this one. And then it goes to the logistics team here and the project team. So there we go. Pretty amazing. And if you ever want to ask more questions, like what are the recent developments in Project Alpha, you can just continue to inquire about Project Alpha in any way. And it's always great because your notes are most up to date. And you'll see here if there's no recent developments in Project Alpha, that's okay. If you do it again, watch the response though. See what it says this time. It might say the same thing or it might change. Like I said, it's always randomized. So that's all right. There's no real crazy information here about Project Alpha. But I just really love how we can get such a nice overview without having to read every single page of this section. Now, even though there's the notes here that we've taken a look at already, what we want to do is view some of the other prompts we have access to. Because we've seen some of these prompts, and these are the most popular ones right here, which is list the pros and cons, draft a to-do list, or even summarize. But if you go over to the little book icon, view prompts, and you'll see create, understand, or ask, right? You can see all the different options we have here. But what happens if we want more? Well, if you want more prompts, you don't see it here, you can always go to the Prompt Lab. Now, the Prompt Lab is going to be one that you access online. So for this one, you can't actually click on the link. You would have to go into the online version and you would have to go to your 365. And I'm going to showcase that now. Now that we're in Copilot Lab, this is where we can explore the in product. So where Copilot exists, for example, 365, Word, Teams, Outlook, PowerPoint, Excel, even in OneNote or Windows, Loop, Whiteboard, or Forms. You'll see all the prompts to try. And remember that Copilot Lab is here to teach us what sort of prompts exist. Now, in the prompts to try, we can save prompts by clicking the little ribbon icon. And we can quickly save a prompt. So if I want to save this one, just click it. And now I have all my saved prompts here. So that's a nice little flag system. Right next to it, you'll see we can filter for whatever app we're using this for, whether we want only Excel or Word or even Outlook prompts. And then what sort of category do you want? What prompt? Do you want to create something or edit it or understand it, ask questions about it, or even just catch up and get summaries? You'll notice that when we're looking at the prompt, it'll explain what the prompt is, a nice little category, what's new, and then you can see an example of what you would write for the prompt. You'll see in the bottom left-hand corner what the prompt is coming from, so which application. In this case, this would be Microsoft 365. This one's a OneNote prompt. This one's an Outlook prompt, a Loop prompt. And you can go through and find PowerPoint. And this is also what's really cool about this system is that you're learning, right? So if you're like, how do I add an image to a slide? It'll showcase add an image of, and then you can say, for example, a puppy dog to the slide. So if you don't remember that, you can always just save this and then use them later on in your applications once you're there. And there's so many different ones, like Shape, that's a pretty cool one. Microsoft created a bunch of these for us. We can click on Show More. Show More. And there's just so many different ones. Now, once you go through the different prompts and you choose which ones you want to save and use inside of Copilot in those applications, you can then go back to the app and start using them. You'll see down here, we do have a couple of articles for better prompts. To summarize this email in 2 bullet points, you'll see that you're giving more detail and you're specifying that you want 2 bullet points. That's something that we're going to learn about for Copilot, is that we need to really be specific on what we're asking it. Because, well, it's still a computer, right? We're still talking to computer language. Underneath it, we have FAQs. What is Copilot prompt? Or what can I get done with Copilot? How can I get the best responses or results? You'll see a bunch of different articles here. Now, going back to the top, you can go into the Get Started, and there's so many different ones. They have for home users, business leaders, or for admins. Let's admit I'm a business leader. I click into that. If you notice, the service is unavailable right now. So these are services that are starting to come out slowly. There are slow rollout, but just, be patient with it. You'll see this one's still unavailable. And I believe admins is unavailable too. Oh, no, they finally got the admins up. So just wait for the business leaders. That should be coming out soon. And then we'll see here Microsoft Copilot 365 documentation. Get ready for Copilot with 365. Get started with, manage it, get trained on. So they have so many different resources for you to look at and utilize. Another thing that's really important with Copilot that I always say is the plugins. This is going to plug into different apps and integrations, not only with just Microsoft, with other technologies as well. So take a look at some of the things that are coming up. And once again, end user Copilot resource, Copilot Lab is one of those resources. This lab is where you meet Copilot, you understand what it can do, you can see it in everyday apps. And those are, once again, those prompts, and you can click the little save prompt. So this is more like that main page here, that this is the landing page for Copilot Lab, but it's pretty much the same if you go to prompt to try. It'll just bring us back to where we were. What's new? It's always something that's important. I'm always reading up on the latest updates for Microsoft Copilot. You'll see here prompts of the month. What were the most important ones, or what were things that weren't working that they've now updated? Transform a doc into a presentation. That's a really cool one. And you can upload document files. We'll actually talk about this in one of our other classes when we get into using Copilot with Word and also using it with PowerPoint. But as you can see here, improvements based on our feedback. Before we talk about how you can submit feedback, it is important. Remember, this technology is young still, so we need to really express what's working or not working for us to make sure that Copilot can evolve into the tool that we need it to be. You can take a look at some of the previous updates as well, our February updates, January, December. Just click on the little carrot icon, and you'll see all of them. And I just love the way that they display like all of the icons. You know that this is specifically for Word. It tells you, what it's for. We're actually going to be talking about Word for the web. So transform your text into a table. That looks like it's only available for Word for the web, so not for the desktop app. That's another thing that's really important with using Copilot. There's going to be different things that work in the online version versus the desktop version. And there we go. So always remember that this is still Copilot Lab. We can have all the same tabs up top. We can switch between prompts to try, getting started. Remember, for Business Leader is one that's not available right now, but it will be rolled out sooner than later. And there you go. As you can see, Copilot is so amazing, and there's so much you can do with it. I hope you all enjoyed this course, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks.